What's going on, family? It's your man Miami Patron here for another video, and like always I'm coming to you from beautiful Medellin, Colombia. Check that out. So it's getting a little later in the day here, but anyways guys, I'm your guide to the digital nomad lifestyle. So how to go travel abroad the right way, but also make money so you can have a great lifestyle and sustainable lifestyle while you're doing it. All right, so what I'm gonna be talking about in this video here is living in Medellin, a comfortable life for under $1,000 a month, guys. Because for those of you that don't know, I moved here in May, so over 3 months ago. I have been living here in Medellin. I have a beautiful 2-bedroom apartment, and I'm gonna be getting into some details here, the cost of living and how I've been able to live a comfortable life for under $1,000 a month. I'm gonna be breaking down some expenses, and then also what are the costs of living for single stuff, like for how much for a meal, how much for Uber, all that kind of stuff. So if you decide to come here and you're making at least $1,000 a month online or $2,000 a month, you can live like a king. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna hop inside. I will break it down for you, and so you can come here if you want, or just get some info on living under $1,000 a month in Medellin. So now that we're inside, let's hop into it. So I got some notes here, that way I can give you guys some numbers and I don't just come off the top of my head, and I keep it straight to the point. All right, so for those of you that don't know, at the time we're recording right now, it's about September 2019. The dollar is about a 1 to 3.3 ratio. So 1 to 3 when it comes to Medellin, the dollar, you know, what do you call it? Exchange, right? So what am I saying? So for $1, it gets you about $3 or 3,000 pesos here in Colombia. So what happens is if you're making $1,000 a month online or something like that, that's worth 3,000 here, which is pretty much a full-time income. So basically, I make money online, and I've been able to keep my expenses to under $1,000 a month, living comfortably. Like, I'm not living in a hostel. I'm not eating out of trash cans. I'm living a comfortable life. And I'm gonna be breaking down what I've been doing, my expenses, and also some of the expenses out when you go out, when you're staying single, right? The single stuff, all right? So let's go ahead and let's hop into it. So I'm gonna be breaking this video down into 4 different categories, right? Accommodations, right? Transportations, food, fun, and miscellaneous. All right, so that was 4 and 4, right? And miscellaneous. All right, so let's go ahead and guys, if you haven't seen my other video, which is right here, the cost of living in Medellin, I actually take you to the store with me. I show you how much I spend on groceries, how much everything costs. So make sure you check out that video, that way you get some more details on how much everything costs while I'm here. But anyways, let's go ahead and break down a little bit more. So how much am I spending on food right now? So I'm a single person, I'm 23 years old, so I'm a man, right? So I eat good, right? So when it comes to food, I would say I eat at home, and I cook my foods maybe 4 to 5 times per week, and I eat out at least every other day. I eat out a lot because shit, I don't like to cook all the time, right? But anyways, right now at the time of this, I am spending about $150 a month in food. I said a month, $150 a month in food. I kid you not, because when I was in Miami, I was spending that a week. I was spending that a week in food, right? So right now, with a fridge full of food and eating out at least 4 to 5 times a week, I'm only spending $150 a month in food, okay? So that's when it comes to my food. Now, transportation. I'm spending about $125 a month in transportation. So it averages to about 1.5 Ubers per day. So for those of you that don't know, remember that video I sent you, all right, here, cost of living. I only take Ubers. I don't take any taxis. Ubers are super simple. They're very cheap here. It's about $1 to $3 or something like that for an Uber ride. And I averaged out to about 1.5 a day. Sometimes I don't leave, sometimes I do leave, but right now it's averaging to about $125 a month when it comes to my transportation. Now you can take the metros. The metros, I think I have it here in a little bit. The metros are super inexpensive. It's almost like I think like $1 round trip or something like that, okay? So now let's go ahead and talk about accommodation. So right now I'm paying for my apartment. If you guys want a tour of my apartment, make sure you watch that video, cost of living. That way you can check it out so you guys can look at my apartment. I have a 2-bedroom apartment with security. I'm overlooking the hills. So if you look at that video, I'll show you, it's an amazing view, right? So I have security overlooking the hills of Medellin. I have a pool. I have, there's parking. It's amazing, right? And the reason I have a 2-bedroom apartment is because I just love the view. But even with a 2-bedroom apartment, guys, check this out. I'm only paying $550 a month. $550 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment, living single with all those amenities, right? So that's amazing, because I remember when I first moved to Miami, I was paying $550 just to rent a room. just to rent a room in this small little shack that was the size of this kitchen right here, right? And now I have this, I have a kitchen, I have a living room, I have 2 bedrooms, I have 2 bathrooms. like damn, you know, for the same price that I had in Medellin, okay? Now, when it comes to about fun for me is like going out. I don't like to drink a lot. I might have a beer or something like that, but I do like to go out at least, you know, once a week or something like that, meet some girls, you know, practice my Spanish, stuff like that. So it comes out to about $100 a month, which is about 300,000 pesos, a little over 300,000 pesos, which goes a long way because I'm gonna be breaking down, you know, how much the beers and stuff cost here in a second. But I spend about $100 a month in food, and miscellaneous is about $100. So that could be anything like the gym, right? For example, the gyms here are about $20, $15 to $20 a month for a gym. Like I was at the gym earlier. The gyms you're gonna want to look at stuff like Action Fitness or Smart Fit. Those are the two places that you can go ahead and take a look at. I actually bought a 6-month plan, so I paid 600,000 pesos for 6 months. I'll go and put the conversion right here. I think it was $171 for 6 months. That's an example of what my cost of expenses are. So that comes up to about $1,000 a month. Now that's just like, and as I said, fun and miscellaneous. I just averaged it out to $100 a month each. But sometimes I'm honestly living less than $1,000 a month, and I'm not starving. I have a fridge full of food. I have an amazing apartment. I go out and I have fun. Right? This isn't some like backpacker lifestyle living under $1,000 a month. All right. So those are my expenses. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be bringing down the single purchases and the single purchases of what you're going to be expecting to pay once you get here. All right, so let's go ahead and break down those categories once again. So let's go ahead and talk about food. How much is it going to cost for you to go for the average meal, right? The average meal is anywhere from $2 to $5. $2 to $5, and that's especially, and there's a lot of lunch specials. You're gonna see the bigger chains like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, all that kind of stuff. That stuff's all here. I don't like to eat that stuff because there's so many local food places here where they're so economical. Those places, those franchises, you're gonna pay more because it's just a franchise fee, and it's just like you're gonna pay that fee. But here, you can get anywhere from $2 up to $5 as your average meal. Now, let's just say you wanna go to a higher end restaurant, something I wouldn't call like Applebee's or Olive Garden higher end, but let's just say you want to go to a nicer restaurant or even, you know, like a sit down place on a date. Even on something like that, you're still gonna spend $10 to $15 for a higher end mid restaurant. Even if you go to like get a nice steak or something like that, you'll spend $20 to $25 on a full steak with wine and everything like that as a single person. So you can go out and take a girl on a date, which, if that's your thing, right, and spend less than $50 on a nice steak dinner with alcohol, appetizers, and everything for less than $50, right? So that's when it comes to meals, and it's amazing. So for those of you that's the eating out price. Now, if you're gonna be shopping here, the best places to shop at is Éxito, okay? Because the main places to shop at are Corulla and Éxito, and there's a couple like little small places like that. But the reason you want to shop at Éxito is because it's similar to a Walmart, so you can get a lot more stuff for a cheaper price. And now Corulla is going to be a lot fresher. It's going to be closer to like your Publix, your Kroger, your Vons, your Ralphs, your stuff like that. It's gonna be closer to like the chain grocery stores. You're gonna pay a lot more money to get groceries for like a week or two. But that's why I highly recommend Éxito, where I fill up this entire kitchen, you know, accessories, clothes, you know, stuff for the house, all that for literally $50 to $60 for 2 weeks. Okay, so Éxito is the place you're gonna want to shop to if you're gonna be living here. All right, so we just covered food. Now let's get to transportation. So for transportation, like I talked about in the cost of living video, it's about $2 to $5 for an Uber. I take Uber almost everywhere, or I walk. All right, I never take taxis because it's just, I don't really speak this language. I don't really know the area, so I'm not gonna go hop in the car and be like, yo, I'm trying to go to the Comerciale, San Diego. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that. Uber, super simple. Take the Uber. All right, another thing you can do for transportation is you can use an app called Green. So for those of you that live in big cities, they have like the little electric scooters. Those are here because I remember that they started popping up in Miami before I left. You can take a Green. It's about 10 cents a minute. So just hop on a Green. They use the app like that. You can go ahead and use that. Now also you can use the Metro. The Metro is about $1 round trip. It's about 1,500 pesos one way, or about 3,000. About $1 or something like that round trip. So super economical. You have the buses, you have the metros, you have the cable cars, all of that is about $1 round trip. All right, so that was transportation. Now let's go talk about fun. Now in this category, I'm going to talk about the nightlife when it comes to fun, because your fun can be different from my fun, and fun is really broad. There is a lot of free tours. You should definitely check out freetours.com. Maybe I'll put the link in the description. They have amazing tours once you do get here. If you decide to come here, if you decide to live here, like for example, I lived here for 3 months, and I just barely this month went to Camina 13, Guatape, and then tomorrow I'm going to Parque Arvi, was at the top of the cable cars, and I've been here for 3 months. All of that I've done through freetours.com, so I highly recommend that place when it comes to fun, and it's free, right? Other than that, the nightlife. So the average beer you're gonna pay for, it's about $2 to $6 for a beer, right? It depends, and the reason that's such a big price, especially because that's dollars, not pesos. That's a big difference. It depends on where you go. Now, if you go to Poblado and you're gonna go to the tourist trap, if you see working girls, and a lot of them, you're in a tourist trap, right? Because there's a reason those working girls are there, right? That's where you're gonna spend the most amount for a beer or alcoholic beverage. That's where you're gonna spend $5 to $6 for a beer. Now you might be saying, holy shit, that's way cheaper than what I do, because I know in Miami it's $12 a beer. But even then, you could, like if you go to La Laureles, which is a little bit more residential, but still really nice, you're gonna spend $2. For example, I went to a salsa bar this last Wednesday and I spent $2 a beer, right? So it just depends on where you're going, because there's such a huge income difference between staying in a tourist area and staying in the real Medellin or something that's a little bit more local. So that's what you're gonna spend for about a beer. Now let's talk about bottle service, right? So bottle service here is completely different than in the States, right? Because I was in Miami before this. If you wanted a bottle, you needed at least $1,000, right? At least $1,000 to, you know, in a nice club like Live or something like that, or 1,500 or more, just to get a bottle. Here, the culture is a little bit different. If you got the money, they'll sell you a freaking bottle. All right, so the average bottle, you know, the most popular alcoholic drinks that are here in Medellin are aguardiente. The other one is Ron, R-O-N. It's a type of rum, R-U-M. All right, so that's typically my drink of choice if I do get it. It's super economical, super cheap. Now, obviously, if you go to Éxito, this is gonna be way cheaper, but I'm talking about bottle service at like a club. It's gonna be anywhere from $25 to $50 for a bottle, for like a full bottle, right? And this is like, you got a table, you're having fun. If you have some girls over, you literally split it with, you know, a friend or something like that. You walk away with $10, $15 each, and you got a bottle of local, you know, drink here, and it's just amazing time. So that's when it comes to bottles. Now, let's go ahead and talk about accommodations. Now, there's 3 types of accommodations I'm gonna talk about, and I got some notes here. And this is if you're staying in Poblado, okay? Most likely if you're watching this video, you're probably gonna be staying in Poblado. So, the first kind of accommodation is a hostel. So, for those of you guys living in a hostel can range anywhere from $5 to $10 per night, which is freaking cheap, right? Now, the $10, like the higher end one, but the average is about $7 a night, which is freaking awesome. This is using Hostel World, so make sure you check out Hostel World. Maybe I'll put it in the link description. Hostel World's amazing, right? So on Hostel World, you can check that out. It's $5 to $10 for a hostel. Now, let's just say you just want to rent a room. You're single, you don't want to stay in a hostel, and you don't want to spend a lot of money either, and you just want to rent a room in an apartment using Airbnb. Now, an average rented room on Airbnb is anywhere from $10 to $15 a night. So it's just a couple dollars more, but even then, it's still freaking cheap. $300 a month and you're renting a room, right? You know, that's pretty cool, right? So that's when it comes to renting a room. Now, let's just say you want to get your own apartment. Like for example, I have my own apartment. How did I find this apartment? It was actually an Airbnb. He was just getting started on Airbnb. I was like, yo, how much is it per month? He's like, $550. I was like, shit, I'll take it right now, because that's way, like, because he was just getting started. I knew it was a great price. He didn't really see the value of this apartment, because he can easily get $1,000 or more for this apartment, right? I could have even rented it out. But anyways, now I highly recommend, if you're going to be renting out an apartment, and if you're going to be staying short term, I'm saying like less than 3 months, use Airbnb. Now, to rent an entire apartment can range anywhere from $19 to $30 a night. Like for example, here I'm paying about a little over $18 a night. When you break it down for an entire 2-bedroom apartment. So that's the range from $19 to $30 a night for an apartment in Poblado. Now, if you go to like La Laureles, you can even drop that down a little bit more. So if you want to live nicer, being in the most fun touristy parts where it's a little bit more expensive, get your place in Poblado area. But if you want to stay a little bit low key, save a little bit of money, you're gonna want to go to La Laureles with that, where you can see those prices drop down a little bit more. So on that spectrum from 19 to 30, that La Laureles is gonna be in that $19 to $22 range. Poblado is gonna go up, and obviously you're gonna have, you know, rent. That's for a normal apartment. Obviously they have the penthouses that go way up more than that, but this is just for the normal guy if you're coming here for a couple months. And I've been able to live an amazing lifestyle just here for under $1,000 a month, being able to have my own apartment and do all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys got a lot of value from this. I'll see you guys next time. Miami Patron out.